Hoop earrings as we know them weren't developed until the 3rd millennium BCE in Mesopotamia, where Sumerian women would wear single or double crescent hoop earrings. These were developed in gold and silver, which was a common theme in other ancient civilizations. This style spread to the Minoans, the Mycenaeans, and the Etruscans. The Greek Minoans and Mycenaeans would have smaller, more elaborate hoop earrings, while the Etruscans had slightly larger but still just as elaborate earrings. The Egyptians didn't develop earrings until 1,000 years after the Mesopotamians, when the Hyksos invaded in the Second Intermediary period. During this period, both men and women would wear earrings, and later on, Hellenistic Greece and the Roman Empire, due to their abundance and prosperity, would have many examples of gold hoop earrings. This is where they started developing motifs with animal heads, godlike figures, and other mythical creatures. The hoops also became very large, as well as continuing that elaborate style from before. This is also the last time we really see hoop earrings until the 17th century in popular culture. Middle Ages and Renaissance had a lot of really elaborate hairstyles that wouldn't really allow earrings to be seen, so hair ornaments were more the choice of the day. Now, as earrings came back, we of course started developing really beautiful styles for them. Alright, picking up where we left off, we are in the 16th century. Now, as I said before, in the Middle Ages and Renaissance, we don't have a lot of earrings. We do have some examples that tend to be a bit simpler. Cutting back to the 16th century, there almost seems to be a counter-reformation of this Renaissance Enlightenment era, where aristocracy was growing in power and strength, and thus wanted jewels to exude that power and strength. We see a lot more designs that utilize craftsmanship, immense amounts of gold, jewels, and a lot of new styles. There were even a lot of examples of earrings that were almost too heavy for the head to wear and actually had to be clipped onto the hair. And as we close out the 1700s, we actually come across a new type of hoop earring called corsards. These earrings were worn by fishwives and were named after fishwives. These were the wives of merchants who played a pivotal role in the French Revolution. These fishwives had a lot of disillusionment with the French monarchy and actually were some of the first protesters of the aristocracy. These specific earrings are characterized by their S-shaped hoops, and here I'm going to insert a clip of me trying to put them on. Finally! Jesus! Fast forward 100 years and we get to my favorite era in jewelry history, the Victorian archaeological era. The archaeological revival era was being heavily influenced by a lot of the artifacts that were being dug up from the ground. We see a lot of imitation of past styles, as well as a combination of multiple cultures into one piece. Then see another archaeological revival in the 1920s, specifically when King Tut's tomb was found. Alrighty, it is a work from home day. Alright, so the 1920s was the Jazz Age, or the Roaring Twenties, and hoop earrings complemented a lot of the really bold makeup looks and short bob styles. When King Tut's tomb was discovered, it was practically untouched, so it had a lot of really beautiful examples of gold jewelry. Thus, in the 1920s, we see elements like lotus flowers, scarabs, and ankhs everywhere in jewelry. The mid-century tended to hold a lot of conservative values. At this time, growing resentments against immigrant communities from Black, Latino, and Mediterranean cultures was growing rampant. And one of the things that marked these communities at this time was gold jewelry like hoop earrings. And we are going to take a second to talk about why. So we actually have a fair amount of anthropological evidence that suggests that hoop earrings go way further back than we think in other cultures. However, a lot of artifacts were destroyed during colonialization. About 181,000 tons of silver and a little less than half that of gold was melted during Spanish colonialization. A lot of artifacts made of that were melted down for coins. We do have some cultural evidence as well as some murals from the Olmecs, Andeans, Mayans, and Aztecs to indicate that hoop earrings do have a long tradition in Latin America, but we don't really have much in the way of preserved artifacts. Still, hoop earrings at the time were largely associated with these communities. In the 1970s, as disillusionment with the government grew, the want for peace and unity amongst society did as well. So the flower child aesthetic of the late 60s and 70s grew to incorporate hoop earrings. And the 80s ran with hoop earrings as big, bold fashion statements were at the height of popularity.